What are you gonna show us?
Well, it's not really you do the story. It's like
Oh, just play the story mode without me.
Oh, do you want to? We could do the cooperative, and we could do like the. Hang on.
We'd have to start.
Oh, we gotta. Oh yeah. Whatever.
I mean, if you want to play, if you don't want to play story mode, we can play Mario Odyssey.
I love the story mode of this, so I'll be down with this.
Right.
I'll be down with the sickness.
I'll start that. The tinies. The moose. There you go.
Oh, hello.
Guys, it's been a while.
It has.
I uploaded all of the Shovel Knight and all of the Oxenfree, and we had no games to play.
Yep.
And now we're playing Star Wars.
Yep. The Oxenfree was supposed to be, we're done in fucking October because it was supposed to be a Halloween thing.
I finished it early November.
Whatever. It's not Halloween.
I think.
That's not Halloween. So, let me finish Snapchatting this girl back because she's quite the cutie.
Oh my gosh.
She's asking me what kind of pizza I ate, Matt. I'm telling her
Ass.
that wasn't as delicious as her.
Oh, ass? Sorry.
That's her ass, yeah.
I just want to eat ass.
Alright guys, let's go. Let's play single player of my one of my favorite fucking games.
This is great.
This is a cool game. It's got parts from the movie.
It does.
In the game.
In the game. This
In
is
the
revolutionary.
They compressed the shit out of a movie and put it in a video game.
Yeah. It's pretty neato burrito.
Dude, this is when they play that fucking opening theme.
It gives you the chills.
It makes me so happy. I was sitting there.
I recall your tweet. I retweeted it because I felt the same.
Picture this. Gangly boy, all alone, sad.
Me.
Watching Star Wars, the new Star Wars. What was it called? Last Jedi?
Fucking faggot. Go on.
I was...
War! The Republic is crumbling under the attacks by the ruthless Sith Lord Count Dooku. There are heroes on both sides. Evil is everywhere. In a stunning move, the fiendish droid leader, General Grievous, has swept into the Republic capital and kidnapped Chancellor Palpatine, leader of the Galactic Senate. As the separatist droid army attempts to flee the besieged capital with their valuable hostage, 2 Jedi Knights lead a desperate mission to rescue the captive Chancellor. Go on.
That was actually really cool.
Thank you.
I forgot. I was going to ask you to do that when I played through the first few missions of this.
Yeah.
I was like, Alex should read this. I tried reading it. I read it like a 3rd grade reading level.
I just wanted to read it in like... Breaking news!
Yeah.
Chancellor kidnapped. 2 brave Jedi Knights off to rescue him. Battle rages over Coruscant.
Yeah. Do you remember
Children dead everywhere. Wait, no, that's later in the movie.
Anyways, go on.
Gangly boy watching Star Wars.
Like it was just
last faggot.
it was like a moment where I was like, I sat down and I was like, I'm fucking watching another Star Wars movie. It's finally happening. Cause like as a kid, Star Wars was the fucking shit. I remember they used to release them in May.
Right.
I was born in May.
Yeah.
And it was always like the middle of the month. I was born on May 17th. This one came out like May 14th, I believe. My dad took me out of school to go see this movie.
Oh.
It was the fucking coolest. And even, it was like opening day. Like it was like the Friday that he took me out of school to see it. And it was only like he took me out like an hour early or whatever. But we went to go see it. And even with like what happened where like as soon as it came on, the entire theater uproared into, yeah, woo! Like that's kind of annoying. Like don't fucking do that in a movie theater. But in that moment, I was okay with it because I was like, it doesn't fucking matter. I'm watching Star Wars. I had that same feeling when I watched this one, like when it first opened up and the text came on the screen. It was just, I was so happy.
I know, his fucking noises make me laugh. The only one that I remember watching in theaters was episode 2, and everybody got really excited when Yoda was fighting Count Dooku.
I don't like that. I didn't like the Yoda fighting Count Dooku.
Yeah, I wish that he just kind of used the Force. But
Dude, Yoda in this new one, I fucking loved him.
Yeah, but why the fuck is he able to fucking summon lightning? Anyway.
That's a little weird. But I like that they used, it wasn't CG. At least I don't think it was.
It wasn't. It was the original thing.
It was
awesome.
The Jim Henson puppet.
Yeah.
I fucking loved that.
Yeah, it made me really happy.
I made a joke. I sent out a joke tweet, put it up on the screen right now. that because you know how when movies they say the title of the movie in the movie, and people are like, ah, that's funny, ha, they said the movie, like in the Avengers, they go like, oh, the Avengers. I made a joke tweet that said, I was like, my favorite part of Star Wars The Last Jedi was when Yoda shows up and he says, Luke Skywalker, you really are the Star Wars Episode 8 The Last Jedi. And I was like, haha, that's funny. I purposely put Yoda because Yoda is dead and would not be in the movie. And this was like 2 weeks before the movie came out, and then Yoda showed up in the movie, and I was like, oh shit, Yoda's in this movie.
Lol.
And then I was like, I guess that kind of is a spoiler?
Whoops. Okay. Shit. Can't remember what I was gonna say. So...
That fucking animation.
But fucking, so that one guy, oh shit, speaking of noises that sound like that, I mean, so that fucking, so Benicio del Toro in the Star Wars movie, right? He's the guy who plays the collector, you know what I mean? He plays a pretty good, like, weird goon guy.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
Why does he fucking talk like Roger Rabbit in that fucking movie?
In which movie?
In The Last Jedi.
Who is he in The Last Jedi?
He's the master hacker.
Oh, yeah, he's a fucking weirdo. I don't like that character.
He talks like the fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He talks like Roger Rabbit.
He also has he has a stutter.
Yeah. Roger Rabbit. Please.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, fucking
retarded.
That was weird.
He sounds like such an idiot.
Was that I was under the impression I feel like they had to cut out some scenes with him that explained more of what the fuck he was. I feel like what they were going for was that he was the master hacker, but they were like, they never explained it. They're just like, yeah, no, he's just some guy. They never explained it because they were like, you look for the guy with the pin,
right?
And then they show that guy, and you're like, that doesn't look like a master code breaker or anything like that.
Have a pin.
I thought that maybe it was like he lost the pin in gambling and then was arrested, but they never tell you that. So if that is what they were trying to go for, that's like all like you have to assume.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, oh, we found they're like, did you find the master hacker? We found a hacker.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
He didn't say anything. He's just like, yeah, I'm a hacker.
He's just like, yeah, I can do it. I mean, it was kind of cool scene when he breaks out. Like he breaks them out, or he just kind of like slides the thing, and then he's like, oh, see you later.
Yeah, like they had some good setup for him, but also that entire fucking
the casino scene fucking sucks. There's that whole CG escape sequence where it's just, you know, nothing bad will happen.
Just
and also something
things
that people point out a lot is they try so hard to free all of those animals, and then they leave the slave children.
Yeah. But she's like, I just like animals. Don't use animals. I hated that part, cause like
that was really dumb.
It was like, well, all it was is it was just supposed to be there for like social commentary.
Yeah.
And like fucking cool.
Yeah.
First of all, but you don't need to fucking shoehorn that shit into the movie.
Yeah. I feel like Finn and the girl really didn't serve much purpose. I think the best way to wrap them up would have been either to have Finn just not be in the movie, or have him be like sort of the character that's like unconscious and Rey's trying to get back to him, and have that be like a plot point rather than just have him wake up and he's like, I'm gonna go fuck off and do whatever. Or
find this dude hacker guy.
Let him sacrifice himself in that big moment. Or for example, the whole plot of the movie, or the whole like big thing in the movie is like, oh, we can't just be selfish and do these dumb things. Like we can't just shoot our way out of shit. We need to be strategic, and we need to pick our fights, and we need to, you know, do whatever fucking shit. Have Finn going to kill himself in that big thing, in that big moment where he thinks this will help them win this fight, or this will save the day. And either you kill him, or you have the girl save him, but then she dies.
Yeah.
And then have just that amount to nothing.
Yeah.
Have it be like, oh, he was a fucking idiot and killed himself, and that helped us in no way because they had a second generator up there that they just sent down. Yeah. And have that be like a moment where he learns. He's like, oh shit, I made a decision here where I almost killed myself. This girl killed herself to save me, and her death is meaningless now. because I was a fucking idiot and
Yeah,
tried
so I'll
to
think
be a
about it
hero.
next time. Yeah, I don't know. That whole fucking movie just made me really angry. I left that movie fucking quite fucking pissed.
I left pretty happy because I was thinking more about all the good things. I do think it's a
I
little
didn't think
weird.
there were any good things though.
I liked Yoda, and Yoda basically telling Luke, like, what the fuck are you doing? You're being an idiot here. And just
Yeah,
kind of like
you're,
him being
thinking
there to
about these books.
reassure him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, you care so much about these fucking books, but they mean nothing. You've never read the books.
It's also because those books were never fucking mentioned in anything. They're just like, yeah, these are the Jedi
Ancient
books.
Jedi texts. And apparently, the Rey steals the books anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. You can see them. And she's got them. In
Yeah.
The last scene. It doesn't matter.
Which is, like, dumb.
She's like, it's not the last Jedi. I'm gonna Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
I
then-
fucking hated that movie. I thought it was so shit.
People are really upset that Luke, spoiler alert, turns
Put
into
spoiler alert on the screen.
turns into a ghost at the end of the movie. He just Caspers himself away. But what I saw, at least what I think happened, because he astral projects himself to fight Kylo Ren,
Right.
and that's a cool scene because you kind of pick up immediately that something's wrong.
Well, yeah.
Because he
had
doesn't
the
look right.
lightsaber. Well, also he had the
Yeah,
lightsaber.
he doesn't look right. He doesn't have.
The lightsaber exploded like
yeah.
2 seconds ago.
He has his lightsaber, and you're like, okay, that's a little weird. He looks a lot younger. I guess maybe he just shaved and got a haircut, and he looks younger for some reason. And then also, they make such a point of showing you that the ground, when you step on the salt crystals, it turns red because it's like a red moon they're on.
Right.
When he's fighting him, Luke, like his steps don't affect the ground in any way, but Kylo's really do because his fighting style is like very like strong and like he just like kind of throws himself into the fight. So there's like he's kicking up a lot of this salt, but like Luke, nothing happens.
Right.
And that's like a big moment where like you realize, because like when I was watching it, I was like, he has the lightsaber, he looks young, this is weird. And then when he disappeared, I was like, oh, okay, that explains that. That wasn't just like really weird fucking directing. I forgot where I was going with this.
Yeah.
That was a cool scene, I guess. I've totally lost my train of thought.
Yep. Okay. I don't give a shit.
Upgrade like the. Oh yeah, you know what you're doing.
Oops. Actually, the critical ones are pretty cool. 'Cause that's the stylish ones.
I think. Fuck. I don't know. There was a lot of really cool scenes where like the characters were interesting and they I feel like a lot of characters grew,
Yeah.
but I feel like a lot of it could have been avoided. All of this like people getting upset if they had just kind of dealt with the story a little differently. Like if
Like
they had,
actually make a story instead of like they're running away from this ship.
Yeah.
For 99% of the movie.
I thought that was interesting that it was like most of the story took place in like one day.
Yeah.
But they also cut back to Rey like a bunch, and it's like it's shown in a way that makes you think, oh, these are concurrent stories, they're happening at the same time. But Rey's story is like over like probably like a week or two,
Right.
but it's shown at the same time, even though this one is supposed to be like, oh, we have 12 hours,
Yeah.
and they go to a casino planet and do all this shit on the casino planet in like 3 hours, and you're like, okay.
We're on a casino. Fucking, the plot of that movie was fucking nonsensical and
These guys are
dumb.
cool.
These guys are really difficult to fight.
Just force stun them and then wail on them.
You're supposed to grapple them.
I know, but if you just force stun them, you can just
They
kill
literally
them.
call it grapplers or something. I remember this because I was obsessed with like enemy design when I was little, and so like these guys had like the coolest design. Anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah, so after watching that movie, as I'm sure that you guys have guessed, I fucking hated that movie because it was shit and garbage, and it had a fucking retarded plot, and nobody would have loved that movie if it wasn't a fucking Star Wars movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like Disney's just like, it's Star Wars, you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it, or we're gonna kill you.
That's why I like it. I'm
because you like Star Wars.
Yeah.
I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars to the point where like if I don't get if it doesn't pay respect to its source, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it's just kind of insulting to me.
yeah. I've got this new way of way of thinking when it comes to movies. I think the quality of a movie isn't subjective. I think it's subjective. There are good movies and there are bad movies. Whether you like a movie or dislike a movie is subjective.
Yes.
I love Space Jam.
Yeah.
It's a
not a-
shitty
it's not a good
movie.
movie,
It's
but it's
not a
awesome.
good movie,
Yeah, it's awesome.
but I like it. I will defend it and say, hey, this is an enjoyable movie. I will never say Space Jam is a good movie or it's the greatest movie or you should, well, I'll say you should watch it because I think it's really fun. But it doesn't deserve a fucking Oscar.
Yes.
None of the Star Wars movies deserve Oscars. They're all really kind of dumb movies with just like kind of silly plots and silly characters that don't really react.
Not
I
really.
think
Episode 5 has like, well, the reason why everybody likes Episode 5 is because it literally from a literature perspective, it has like a perfect storyline. You know what I mean? Like rising action. Like
Yeah.
Like so that's why that one's so fucking good to people.
I like episode 5 is my favorite.
Yeah, it's my
And
favorite
it's got a lot of the
movie of all
cool characters. I don't think it's the greatest movie to ever exist. I think it's a really good movie, and I think it's the best of the Star Wars movies. That and Rogue One. Rogue One's really good too. But
Oh, I want tripping.
like for example, I do think this new Star Wars movie is a really garbage movie. Like the plot's really shitty, the pacing's really bad, the story, it gets like muddled when you have 3 different stories all being shown like at the same time, but none of them are actually going at the same time. So it's just confusing because like Poe Dameron shit isn't happening at the same speed as Finn's shit's going on, which is also going at like no speed compared to Rey's stuff, and there's all these bullshit. It's a shitty movie, but I
Yeah.
still enjoyed it. I had fun watching some of the scenes. Like Poe Dameron's first scene where he takes on the Dreadnought all by himself is a cool scene. Any shit where you show Star Wars in space, where they're flying in space and doing just like cool shit with spaceships, is cool. The opening to Episode 3,
Awesome.
awesome. I don't like I think Episode 3 is the best of the prequel trilogy, but it's also not a great movie compared to like
Most movies.
But
so this movie made me appreciate the prequels a lot more. Like a lot more.
I liked it. I think this was the best movie that the I guess he was only in 2 movies, but this was the better job Hayden Christensen did. It's still a shitty job. He's a very wooden actor. He didn't really capture it, but there were scenes where I genuinely was like, okay, this guy is he is falling to the dark side. He genuinely cares about
Yeah.
this person, and he's going to do whatever it takes to save them.
Yeah, it
and
was
stuff
like a really
that.
cheesy movie, but
Yeah.
like it was a very like Shakespearean kind of like plot where like
Well, these are space operas. That's how George Lucas describes them. So it makes sense that he would have a plot like that. I do think there are ridiculous aspects in all of these movies that really the movie could have done without. The whole scene with the space opera in a space opera where Sidious tells him the story of Darth, what's his name?
Plagueis the Wise.
Yeah. Like that's kind of ridiculous and kind of fucks with the what do you call it? Shit, I'm trying to remember all the words for movies. It ruins just like the flow of the movie, the tempo, and it just kind of slows it down too much. But most of the scenes are enjoyable, and as long as there's like 4 or 5 enjoyable scenes, I'll have a good time. You really don't like Force Awakens because it's very similar
it's
to
just a moneymaker.
It's very similar to
By
A New
very
Hope.
similar, you mean it's the same thing.
I mean, yeah.
It's the same thing. And, like if anybody tells me like no, it's not, I will laugh in their face.
Yeah.
Call them a fucking liar because they're lying. Whoops.
But at the same time, there are people who will compare movies that are not at all the same, but they'll just hit it with like the broadest strokes ever, where like you can compare pretty much 2 movies to each other that have very little in common other than like big key like titles, like things where you're like, oh wow, this is a movie about a guy who needs to find his kid and he has to travel across the world to find his kid, and then he finds his kid and then he saves the day, and also there's bad guys in it that are like way bigger than him. I just compared Taken to Finding Nemo. Oh my god, aren't they're the same movie? Like no, they're fucking not. You just took very broad stroke themes and said they're the same. Which is really dumb. But for A New Hope and Force Awakens, it is the exact same
They're
movie.
literally the exact same thing. Like, I don't know. And so I fucking despise that movie because I don't know. I'm really angry with Disney in general. Just because like they're just making so many just like fucking money grabs.
Yeah.
and like I don't know, like I had a really extensive conversation with my dad about this. My dad is like, if Walt fucking Disney was alive, he'd be fucking distraught to see what his fucking name has become. You know what I mean? And like I was just like, wow.
People say that about like every like big major. Wait, there's a secret in this room somewhere. Like I think if you kill everybody, you get a extra health.
That's right, I remember that.
But
I don't think so.
yeah, it just falls from the ceiling. Everybody says that like, oh man, Steve Jobs would be rolling in his grave if he found out that they made an iPhone X, iPhone 8 Plus, iPhone, all these things where it's like, oh man, there's so many versions of the iPhone. I don't think so. I think that guy, just like everybody else, was fucking rolling in money and happy to just release shit. Disney's different.
Disney's
I think.
Different. He didn't give a shit. He was just like, I just want to make a fucking cool park, and this is all starting because this animation.
Yeah.
And I'm really into animation. Here's this Mickey Mouse. I love him. You know what I mean?
I love them, but also fuck the Jews. But like, there's some people where I understand, like, yeah, but like, I hate when people say like, if this guy saw what this was today, he'd be fucking mad. Like, probably wouldn't. That's probably where he was taking it before he died.
We should end this episode though.
Sure. There's a. I think this level's about to end, so we'll end it when this level ends.
Okay.
Dude, I love the spinning around.
I know. Get the fuck away from me, buzz droids. I really like the idea of the buzz droids.
Buzz droids were cool.
Where,
that
like,
was
they shoot like a missile, and like it's just full of droids. You know what I mean?
That was a really cool scene. I think they did that in. They did that in the new one too.
They did in episode 3.
There was one where.
You know, The Last Jedi.
Yeah, there's a scene where like someone's like covered in them, and they're like, oh man, I don't know if it was buzz droids, but it's like something that's like trying to get into the ship. And they're like, we did it, we got away from them. And then they turn the ship, and then it's like the entire bottom of the ship is just them. And he's like, oh shit.
No, that's just but that's the episode 3.
No, episode 3 hasn't. They're all on.
Yeah, but there's also like there's a bunch on the bottom. I remember that one.
Maybe it was an episode of the show.
Don't suppose we should knock.
It was the episode of the show because it was on Anakin's ship, and then Ahsoka, like he crashes his ship and Ahsoka saves it with the Force or something like that.
Oh, gotcha.
But that was like really cool. They were really interesting characters, interesting like concepts. I guess they weren't really characters, but like I like this.
That's such an Indiana Jones moment. I love it.
And that's also like a big theme of the prequel trilogy is like the importance of a lightsaber and how you should never lose it. It links it fucking yeah, there you go. I just jump and hit triangle and it just breaks it. Yeah. But because like in the first one, Obi-Wan loses his lightsaber and Darth Maul kicks it off the edge, and then he gets Qui-Gon's lightsaber. And then in the second one, Anakin loses it and Obi-Wan finds it and he's like, don't lose this, and then he loses it later in the movie and it gets destroyed. And then Obi-Wan also loses his and they get replacement lightsabers. And it's like a big
I wish that they
repeating theme.
None of the movies ever delve into like how lightsabers are made.
The shows do, and it's really
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Like there's
I was hoping that they were gonna do that in this one, like have Rey make her own.
That'd be cool. Everybody wants Rey to have a purple lightsaber, which is actually be kind of cool.
I think it'd be interesting, but also at the same time, just like give her, just everyone as soon as she gets a green lightsaber, everyone's gonna be like, oh, you're just copying Return of the Jedi because you gave him. There's like on screen we've seen 4 colors of lightsabers. She's already had a blue one. If you just give her another blue one,
it'd be cool if she had a yellow one.
Yeah, but like we haven't seen in the movies at least, because Ahsoka had one that was yellow, and it was like a shorter one, and that was cool. But like,
yeah, that was her parry one. I fucking loved that. That's how I would want to fight if I was a Jedi. Just like a lightsaber and then a parry lightsaber.
Because like we haven't seen those other ones, and the only one that we've seen is purple is Mace Windu. But that was like a requirement for Samuel L. Jackson to be in the movie because he wanted to see himself in a big fight scene.
They made it like lore.
Yeah.
Just because he's like a Sith almost.
Yeah, like it's really cool, and you're like, wow, that's a cool looking lightsaber. I think below those up there's a secret. I'm just not sure.
Cool.
Yeah. But I feel like she should probably just have like a regular lightsaber.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't really care. I think she should have a yellow one.
I think I'm not sure because I don't read, So I haven't read all of the lore books, but I'm pretty sure I remember hearing somewhere that the specific colors of lightsabers are meant to be something like the
so
the green is for like the force powers.
The green one is for force, like people who are primarily force users.
Yeah.
The blue one is for people
like-
who are primarily like swordsmen.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So it was like that's why like Yoda has a green one, and I don't know. We haven't really seen much of Rey force-wise, other than like she just lifted a bunch of rocks.
Yeah.
She hasn't really done much. So I wouldn't know which one to give it to her. Like if we had to be like, ooh, give her a color, because like Luke, the journey of him is he goes from like a farm boy kid to being a master Jedi. So by the end, he's powerful in the Force, and you give him the green lightsaber. Then Obi-Wan never has a green lightsaber, except for in that one scene in the
Yeah, he's primarily a swordsman.
Attack of Clones. Yeah, but he's also really good in the Force. He becomes a Force ghost.
He's like primarily.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Well, that's because Yoda teaches him how to. And so.
And Qui-Gon teaches him.
Yeah. But fuck what I was gonna say. So the one thing that I'll say about the movie, my favorite scene in both Force Awakens and The Last Jedi is when Kylo and Rey go fucking ham on those guards.
That was really cool.
That was amazing because that was like really like Episode 6 kind of like lightsaber combat. Like it was like really like fucking like grungy and like dirty. You know what I mean? Like they kicked that one guy into that fucking generator, and it was really cool.
Well, yeah, one of the coolest scenes. We're gonna end this episode after I mention this, but like one of the whenever I think of Revenge of the Sith, I always think of the part where like it's like a wide shot of them fighting on like this knocked over like pillar, and they're fight. It's Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting, and they both swing at the same time, and they catch each other's lightsaber hand, and they're just like trying to push the other person to get that one. Like that one stroke through to just cut the other person down, and then there's like big like lava explosions behind them, and it just really fits because like you can see on the face like Anakin just wants to kill Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan you can see like the pain that he's like, I'm fighting my best friend and the person that's almost like a son to me, and you're like, oh man, this is actually really interesting. I think of that one a lot. All right.
All right, guys.
See you in the next episode. We're gonna talk more about Star Wars,
Yes.
probably.
See ya in the next Star Wars talk. Oh my God.
Whoa! All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.